You say that, and I'm in complete agreement here with this. Here's the problem, the way I see it. Well, I kind of painted a pretty fatalistic picture of like, I think we're at a point of irreconcilable differences where we go one fundamental direction or we go another. I truthfully believe that. I think we're at that point. So now we're also telling people, okay, you need to stay off social media and you need to live your life and do this and that. I think the conflict, the internal conflict that people feel is that they inherently and innately know what I just said, that, man, I'm scared about this radicalization. I'm scared about a lot of the extremism that I'm seeing. I've got to do something, but I don't know what that looks like. So I'm on social media and I'm fighting, right? And I myself, if I'm being quite candid, I don't even know entirely what to do. So I reached out. I was like, well, I'll have Will on my show and we'll talk about it and we'll use my audience and we'll leverage that. And maybe that'll help So even I myself don't really know what I can do. So for people that are business owners specifically, because that's what we want to talk about, business owners are deeply affected by what's going on, some of which in extreme cases, their business are being burned to the ground. Even us, like, part of what we do as an online business, man, COVID, our numbers were fine. George Floyd and beyond, numbers tanked, man. Like, people are just staying off of social media because they're doing what you said, and that's how we advertise ourselves. So what can people do? If the answer is not social media, if the answer is not, I know you said empower people to start businesses and so on and so forth, but in terms of activism, in terms of making their voice be heard, what can they do? They're scared about going outside. They're scared. I mean, we hear about people like the Trump supporter that got shot in Portland, right? Like, if you go outside, even wearing an American flag shirt right now, you're probably going to get maybe some judgment. Or am I over-exaggerating this? Like, what can you do to actually let your voice be heard and to counteract some of the stuff that's going on in the world as you see it?
Well, you will definitely get judgment, but what are you going to do? Sit around and be weak for the rest of your life? You have
Yeah.
to stand up for the things you believe in if that's what you believe in. Otherwise, again, like I said right at the beginning of this, it continues to get worse because conservatives are too weak. I have a shirt on right now. It says, I don't know if this is video too, but
Yeah.
it says former fetus on it. And I'm
Yeah.
walking around here in Hollywood with,
Oh my
with a
God, dude, you're
shirt that
fucking
says that.
killed.
Exactly, and it's like, but I'm not scared of those kind of things. When I went on a plane just a little while ago, I had an NYPD officer hoodie on, and the black flight attendant came up to me and asked if I was going to pop off on her because I was wearing a thing with a police supporting the police on it. I mean, of course, people are going to say things to you, but that's just how it goes. Okay, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
I'm sure that if you went to some very red state or some place in Iowa and you wore a very left-wing t-shirt, they wouldn't like you very much either. That's just how it is with the culture. Most urban cities and big places in America, that culture is there. You can never apologize to these people. Stand up for what you believe in, and the main thing you can do is actually have conversations with people.
That's
If if people actually talk to each other, like, think
yeah.
about how many conservatives there are, like just the people who follow me, like 250,000 whatever people. If every single one of those changed the minds of someone
Yes.
else, I mean,
Yes.
that's hundreds of thousands of people. It's
Yeah.
all about just talking to one person. Stop wasting your time on some useless social media argument that goes nowhere, and actually try and change the mind of someone who you care about or you're close to. It'll do way more good and just be way more successful for actually helping this country.
I was hoping you were going to say that, Will, because that's exactly where I'm at. Is like, and I was talking to my mentor, and he's like, all we have to focus on is the 1 to 3%. Because if you focus on just shifting it 1 to 3%, meaning collectively, we just have to play our part in that and have those conversations. And there's people out there that, like you, right, that are fighting for that, for free speech. And I'm in total agreement with you. We can't sit behind and say, yay, Ben Shapiro, and then like, oh, when it comes to social situations, I'm not gonna wear my shirt because I'm too afraid. Like, we have to stand up too, and we actively support groups. Right now, I'm totally against this slam on free speech. I had a guy yesterday that said he was gonna unfollow me because I inject too much religion in my tweets, and that I liked a few Trump tweets. Dude, what if I had put? Let's just play role reversal here. Let's say that my religious tweets was happened to be Christian, Christianity leaning tweets. Let's say they were another religion and you had said that to me. I mean, outrage, right? Complete outrage. So it's just ridiculous. So that's my focus, is I'm fighting for that. I'm fighting because I think that's a point that a lot of people will agree with. Like, that's fundamentally wrong. Regardless of where you are, that's wrong. So I think starting with that, having conversations, things that you care about with the people that are closest to you that actually listen to you. Now, the one thing I will ask you this is, when in person do you know somebody's ready to listen, and when in person, because you would know better than anybody, this is what you do. When is somebody ready to listen, you can tell, versus when is somebody just, it's not their time right now, right? There's not part of their journey where they're ready to be open to new ideas and thoughts.
Well, you can always make someone open if you let them do the talking. It's like saying someone's name. People love their own name like 1,000 times more than they love anyone else's name. If
Sure.
people have the ability to express what they believe, they'll talk about their opinions 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, right? So the way that I do it, if you guys have seen my videos on PragerU.com, I mean, the way I do it is I'm asking them questions so that they have to explain their rationale back to me. I'm not going up
Yes.
to them and saying, climate change is a myth, and here's why. I say, why do you believe climate change is really happening right now? Then they have to explain it. And then
Yeah.
when you continue to guide the questions, it takes practice. Don't expect to get this just on the first time being really good at this. I've been doing this for a while, so I've gotten a lot better at it. But they have to change their minds themselves. It's not necessarily even you doing it. I mean, I leave conversations with people where I've completely changed their minds on things, and they don't even know that I'm a conservative after the conversation is over
Mm.
because they're the ones who've had to do this whole thing in their own minds, right? Some random guy on the street who's talking to them isn't going to be the one to say, like, oh, here's the newest, here's how you should live your life philosophy. It's like they do it themselves just by how I ask them. So that's the way to do it, is by asking them questions, leading the conversation so that they have to actually get the wheels turning inside their own head.
All right, did you like that clip? Remember, that's not the full interview, and you can watch the rest of that discussion right above my head. You can click right on the screen. Go ahead and start that now, but before you go, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this. See you inside.